Welcome to Wholesale Hotline, where we cover everything to do with wholesale real estate. I'm Jamil Damji.
I'm Brent Daniels.
And I am Pace Morby.
And together we cover the most important parts of wholesale real estate.
Lead generation.
Conversion of sellers into contracts.
And dispositions. Guys, remember when you're watching this show, do us a favor and squad up in the comments.
Make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the YouTube channels and in the Facebook group Wholesale Hotline.
Most important, we want to know we're doing a great job for you and helping you build your business. So go give us a review on iTunes and or Spotify.
So squad up and enjoy the show!
Welcome to Wholesale Hotline number 155. It does not matter if you've never done a deal or if you have done hundreds and you're very experienced. There is going to be something on this show that you can implement in your business right away. My name is Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP, Mr. Talk to People. I am joined, of course, by Jamil Damji, Mr. Astro, Mr. Keegley. I'm joined by Pace Morby, Mr. Sub 2, and I am joined by Daniel Quijano, Mr. Close every deal you put in front of him. Any seller, you better watch out. He's going to get that contract signed. Quijano. Welcome.
Bro, I was in my office this morning.
What are you doing with that mic?
I like this is way better, bro. I got the freedom to move around, baby. So I was in my office this morning. I looked at this award that I got from Steve Trang, and the award says King Closers. And I go, man, I'm not the king of closers anymore. I'm the king of community. And I'm like, Quijano's the king of closers.
You gave him the belt.
Hey, did you give him that trophy?
Should I cross out Pace Morby on there and hand it over
with a marker?
Yeah. That's what they do in Albuquerque.
I think we should make a new trophy.
Yep.
We'll just put Steve Trang's name on it.
Okay. I like this
and
already.
Just make Dan Quijano the king closer. You are the king closer. I'll be honest. I've known Dan, met Dan through obviously Pace in the Sub 2 community.
Yep.
Had Dan come on a challenge that we had.
Ooh, damn.
And
that was a good challenge.
And it really goes, it speaks volumes when you have, communities, mentorships, this opportunities where we get to teach the things that we do. And then you see the translation of how, because I spend so much time with this guy.
Yeah.
Of how he's been able to impart not just like words, because F words.
Yeah.
Right? It's the energy, it's the spirit, it's the intention behind the way that Dan gets on the phone and deals with situations and people that I think make you as strong and as what we'd call the king closer as you are. So
what do you think?
Love having you here, bro.
Is it confidence? Is it experience? Where you just naturally came out and you were able?
I just jump in?
Yeah.
It's heart.
Okay. But heart comes with confidence.
Keanu's like, I'll let you guys just keep
you know
going.
what I mean?
I'm like
you need to be confident in understanding what value you're providing and where to direct that. He could direct that towards cars. Yeah. He could direct that towards airplanes. He could direct that towards something online. He directs it towards property owners.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Well, I think all of those answers are right? But the saying goes, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
And so we were talking about this earlier.
Hold on, let me write that down.
You're gonna write it down? That's okay. Right. So we were talking about this with Armand earlier. We were filming something, and we were talking about all these one-liners. You got people that got these lines and these processes and all these things, and those things are great. You need them, but I call those the ornaments, and the ornaments don't matter unless you have a tree underneath it. And that tree is your ability to understand yourself, to understand the people that you're talking to, use good communication, and actually caring about the people that you're talking to enough to bridge that gap. Yeah. You can have all the one-liners in the world, but that's not enough if you don't have the heart and the understanding on the way to communicate that heart to back it up.
Yeah. I was right. No, and I've had conversations with Dan. I've got to spend some time with him and really get to know him. And And one of the first real conversations we had was like he wanted to understand my heart and how I felt about him and like what our relationship was. And that's, bro, when I get to meet people and it's not like, hey man, can I take a selfie? Look, I have no problem with the selfies, guys. We'll keep the selfies up. They're great. But when it's not, let's not take a selfie, bro. Hey, like, what's our relationship? Like, how do we stand with each other in the world? Like, how do we work with each other? How do we love, where are we?
Yeah.
And to me, that just communicated who he was immediately.
Love it.
Welcome to Wholesale Hotline, Dan.
Welcome.
Appreciate you, fellas. Love to be here.
Guys, we are wide open. We're going to be answering questions from the audience. So make sure that you put them in there. Pace has got his finger on the pulse of which questions to ask, and we'll pull it up. Matt, if we can make that as big screen as we can with also seeing the comments, that'll help us be able to read it.
I also have glasses.
I got it. Yeah, you look good, man.
Matt, that's money, bro. Thank you, bro. That's really good.
There was an album cover, Me Against the World, Tupac had, where he wore glasses. And for the longest time I shied away because I'm like, that's not thuggish, ruggish bone. You know what I mean?
Right.
I gotta write that down. Hold on.
But I gotta be honest, bro.
Is that Bone Thugs?
Yeah. I can't see crap, right? So like, I'm just happy that I can actually see the things.
Every time I see him like this, I call him Poetry Pac.
Poetry.
Nice. Nice.
Poetry Pac.
The rose that grew from concrete.
I love it.
Oh, I love it.
So
So can I tell you guys a couple cool things that happened last week? We had Big Boy from Outkast
Incredible.
come hang out. You went to dinner with him.
Yep.
You went to dinner with him. Y'all
gotta sit beside
everybody got to
him
meet
and-
him.
And like, just like,
Crazy.
I had my hand on his knee the whole time.
Yeah.
No,
You toasted at dinner, and you made him say at the end of your toast, he was like, "Oh damn!"
Yeah.
That was pretty
he
cool.
DM'd me after that.
He did.
He did.
That's cool.
And he said, I have to say that I love the spirit of your friendship, and the energy in your guys' world is infectious to me, and I want to be in it.
Wow, that's
and
cool.
it was a like to be DM'd by, he followed me and then DMs me to say that. It's that tells you that this is one genuine dude. Like we were not having dinner with a celebrity rapper.
Yeah.
We were having dinner with an incredible human being who just so happens to be one of the greatest rappers of all time.
What'd you say at dinner?
Oh, we just talked. We talked, but we
talked a lot about TV. He's got a new TV show coming out with A&E.
Yeah.
And Brad from A&E was there, our exec and our friend. And we had a great conversation about what he went through, what they were going through. I was able to interview him for about an hour at my mastermind. Big Boy and I own real estate together. We have for about a year. And so we've had a good relationship for about a year and a half.
Yep.
And it was good to just break bread and hang out and actually talk about what he was excited about outside of music was really, really cool. But the reason I bring this up is because I accomplished a childhood dream of mine this last week, and it was amazing. And thank you for everybody. I was going to but I was going to tag a bunch of people on my Instagram story and say, thank you for everybody that made this possible for me. But there's so many people I couldn't tag them. So I'm thinking right now, I'm looking at this bell, and I'm thinking there's a lot of people right now that their number one dream is getting their first deal, their next deal, right? Their first assignment, their first fix and flip, their first wholesale deal, their first buy and hold, whatever it is. I very nonchalantly, in a matter of maybe 4 minutes, bought how many deals today?
I don't know, 4 or 5.
No, I bought 2.
7.
He watched me buy 2 today. In a matter of 4 minutes, I bought 2 deals. And I'm thinking today, I want to hear this bell go off at least 10 times from people in the comments. Give me the bell.
Love it.
For nonchalantly buying 2 bells. Also, I love you.
Love you too.
So don't take this as insult, because it's not. But I very rarely get to tune into Sunday service, or now what has been renamed to Get Creative.
Yeah.
Saw last night's episode.
That was good.
Live audience.
Live audience was cool. This is cool. We have a live audience here tonight, guys. Hey,
Carolyn,
make some noise. Make some noise, live
Carolyn
audience.
Myron in here. LT's in here. Bobby's in here.
Make some
Armand's
noise. Make
in
some
here.
noise, guys. Hey, live audience. But Carl, holy moly, that guy! What a beast, dude!
Yeah, very cool.
I fell in love yesterday with creative finance.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Wow.
I fell in love yesterday with, because I'm a wholesaler, bro.
Yeah.
I'll always be a wholesaler, y'all. You're not gonna see me jump up on ads and see like, hey, everybody buy my course. It's called Sub 3 or Sub 2.2. It's not. I'll never do that. It's not my. I'm a master wholesaler. I will always be a master wholesaler. But I fell in love last night. With creative finance, because I got to see its versatility. I got to understand that not only do you buy real estate with creative options and be able to cash flow and do incredible things with no cash credentials or anything for that matter. You can just literally take over a house and make money. But I watched and listened to. So if anybody who's watching this right now didn't get a chance to watch last night's Get Creative podcast, go back and watch the replay of that, because it was, I think you had like 600 or 700 people on there live. So I'm sure everybody did see it. But if you hadn't, go back and listen. This Carl Allen, is it? Mm-hmm. Carl Allen from the UK is moving to the United States so that he can start buying businesses here, which he's buying, again, zero down or with other people's money, cash flowing day one. I think he said he just that day was about to close on a business that was going to cash flow within 3 days.
He found the deal on Friday.
Yeah.
He left yesterday. At lunchtime, he's like, I'm going to go buy a business. Came back 2 hours later, bought the business, and is making money on it today.
So just insane.
What's the business?
Who cares?
Here's a couple.
I'm just curious.
It's making rhinos.
Yeah.
I mean, but that just looking at this rhino right now, it makes you understand that
it's
there's
a female beauty brand.
Okay, cool.
So cosmetics, stuff like that.
That's great. That's
great.
great.
His buy box, right? Because there's buy boxes in real estate and in business. His buy box are businesses that have made it through a 10-year mark.
Yep.
Because he finds that 94% of businesses fail within their first 10 years. So he's like, if you've made it through 10 years, the possibility of you failing at some point in the future is pretty unlikely. So he found that business, been around for 10 years, was in need for some technological advancement.
Sure.
Right. Some pretty simple thing. And then also tired landlord, right? Tired seller. This happens a lot of time in real estate and also in business. So that was a really great episode last night.
It was so good,
Awesome.
bro.
How would you have offended me, bro? That was
Because
my podcast.
it's just that because I haven't caught a lot of. I haven't been able to catch a lot of episodes Sunday. It's usually the only time I get to get laid.
Oh yeah.
So so it's like,
Sunday fun day,
right? And so like I'm like, when Pace is doing that, I'm like, hey, Pace is busy. Like, let's get busy. Whatever it is.
I'm gonna shout you out now from now on Get Creative.
Do whatever you like.
Jamil's out there. Jamil's
following
out there.
FTS,
butt ass naked, wering his glasses right now.
Yeah, he's focused on something else.
When you're getting laid,
he's getting creative in other ways.
Are you wearing your glasses when you're getting laid?
No.
Okay, got it.
No.
Give it a shot.
I'm nearsighted, so she'll be blurry if I.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
All right, so guys, I want to see comments in the side chat today of people doing deals. Let's do some Q&A. What do we say? Let's do some Q&A.
So while we're waiting for a question, I think there's an important point to note, right? Because he talked about the inbox that big boy sent him, the DM. And what's crazy is when he was in that room, when he stood up, what he said was something that people have been saying for a long time. And I think it's important for the viewers to see. A lot of the things that the new people who come to the Wholesale Hotline and get introduced to you guys and the world that you guys have created in real estate, the first question they have is it real? Right. And you spend enough time around, you realize pretty quickly it's real. You join Sub 2 for 8 seconds and you're like, okay, this is real. You join Astro, you guys get to know your guys' community, what you put together. You've been doing this for a long time. But what is amazing to me is that it doesn't stop at new people. It spans the spectrum, and people who have been around this world and been famous and successful at the highest levels value what you guys have put together just as much as the person watching Wholesale Hotline right now.
I had a conversation with Andre Berto. If you guys know who he is,
of course,
world champion boxer,
incredible.
Sat on the phone with him for an hour. He was like, "Bro, you're the wholesale guy. I'm flying down to Phoenix, Arizona. I'm going to spend some time with you, and I want to learn how you look. This guy can he knocks people out. Like, this guy is a world champion boxer, right? Made lots of money." But he's like, look, at the same time, I'm not satisfied. We all want to do more. We all want to gain more. We all want to do business. And I have money and I want to invest and I want to create new business opportunities and I want to wholesale. So he's actually going to come out to Phoenix, Arizona.
Love it.
Spend some time with me. I'm going to spend some time with Pace. He's going to learn how to wholesale from the genie, and he's going to learn how to do creative finance from the wizard. And
I thought you were going to say the weenie, but
but it's going to be incredible. So we're going to have a knockout weekend very soon here with Andre Barto.
Well, listen, you can make a ton of money, right? Using your body, being a superstar athlete, but at some point you're done. What I mean, you're not able to use your body for forever. So it's time to establish businesses. You have kids, you have grandkids, you have all these people that probably rely on them oftentimes, right? And so why not learn real estate? Why not? I think it's going to be more and more. I really do. I think that the more that we get loud all the time, people are going to find their way into wholesaling and into creative financing.
Exactly.
They are. And building really nice portfolios.
We got a couple of questions here popping up. Like them. How do you explain novation if the agent wants to see an example with actual numbers? Monica, that's a great one. Go to my YouTube channel or even maybe Brent's
Which
YouTube
agent?
channel.
The buyer's agent or the seller's agent?
The seller's agent, usually.
So if it's a listing agent, just do a flat fee listing service for $99.
She's probably what Monica's question is more to the effect of is if you do a novation with a seller, okay?
Yes.
And you suck at renovations and like your work is just like absolute trash.
What if you do no work?
Well, then you're just talking about a net listing.
I'm talking about a novation. A net listing is not when you sign a purchase agreement with the buyer. A novation, the definition of novation is a replacing of your contract with a different buyer's contract. That's much different than assignment and much different than a net listing.
Understood.
You could go to
I don't do novations.
You could go to
brokerlist.
You could go to brokerlist.com right now.
Yep.
And you could list on any MLS for like $199, right? So you put it on the market in wherever you're at. And you see this a lot in smaller markets. This is crushing in smaller markets where you go out and you market to smaller markets, whether it be pay-per-click or calls or texts or whatever else, where it's real competitive here in Phoenix, but you go on the outskirts and you go and you see the condition of the property.
Yeah.
If it's something that can get a conventional loan, a retail buyer, then you put it on the market, you work out the paperwork with the property
but isn't
owner.
it hard doing business outskirts? I think I get luckier in skirts.
Yeah, well, on Sundays at least.
It's the glasses.
Monday through
100%.
Saturday, sir.
You got the live audience loving that. That was really good.
Good.
Here's the answer. When somebody says to me, I even made a video. You watched me make a video.
Yeah, why
today.
is it called outskirts?
I don't know.
I don't know. Words are funny, man. I love it. You're on it today. You're peeling them apart. But yeah, it's a strong strategy. So I think, you don't even have to talk to a flat fee agent on that. And then with a buyer's agent, the buyer's agent is
here's
a buyer's
how I
agent.
interpret the question. The question is, I'm a wholesaler.
Yeah.
I want to go talk to an agent who has a property that's currently listed. It's not selling. And how do I go to them and say, hey, this might be a good fit for a novation agreement? The easiest way to do this is I have 15 examples of real novation agreements with addresses and numbers on my YouTube channel. So type in Pace Morby Novation. Or Brent has novation training. What's it? Where do you go for that?
Yeah, just wholesalinginc.com.
Don't you have like a Novation Nation?
Yeah, it's in there.
Oh, it's in there. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Dope.
We just kind of, pulled it all together.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
You made it simple.
Yeah.
You simplified it.
There you go.
I absolutely love it.
Consolidation, baby.
Love it. Okay. Yeah, people are
MLS
asking.
deal too high. Let's hear what that had to say. What's that question?
Who wants to buy
Scroll up.
Brown? Okay, I'm looking. The mouse is not as
It's kind of a little
forgiving
tricky.
as I like. When it's this big, it's kind of hard.
It's a little down. Sorry, it don't matter. You figure it out.
Okay, here we go. Here's a question for Brent.
Yeah.
Brent, do you have a studio on every level of your house?
Yes. No, this is my office. So we could shoot anywhere. I've got Matt here that has a whole room full of cool knobs and buttons. And so, yeah.
This is what happens when you wholesale a lot of deals.
That's
you
it.
get an office like this.
Kyle J says, how do I wholesale a property in Mesa? This is the weirdest question. You're talking to a guy who lives in Mesa and buys deals in Mesa all the time. Kyle J, am I not doing a good job on my Instagram?
I don't think so.
Am I not doing a good job on my YouTube? Am I not working hard enough? Kyle, the question should be, hey, Pace, I have a deal in Mesa that I'd like to wholesale to sub 2. How do I get a hold of your team? That should be the question.
Exactly.
The answer to the question is Molly at pacemorby.com. I will buy that deal And if you need a little bit of help on it, and especially in Mesa, Arizona, I will help you close that seller. I'll go to the appointment for you, Kyle, and I will help you close that deal, because you're basically saying, I have a lead. I need somebody to come in and help me. That's really what you're saying. Let me retype your question for you. Hey guys, my name is Kyle. I have a lead. I'm not sure what to do, but the seller says they're open to sub 2. Is there somebody that can help me so they can help me lock this up so I can hopefully find a buyer to wholesale it to?
That sounds right.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Kyle, the answer is molly@pacemorby.com. Get her in touch with me. Get on my calendar. I will go to the appointment and I'll show you how to get it done.
Will you sell it to me?
I actually was thinking of you in mind. He'll assign it to me,
okay,
and then I'll assign it to you.
Perfect.
Okay?
You can do that in real estate?
Yeah, it's called Quijano chaining.
Quijano chaining.
Okay.
Everybody knows this.
This mouse, I wish I had a better mouse. This mouse is especially for like what we got going on right here. I am the mayor of Mesa. That's so funny. Jamil actually put that on the TV show. That was really, really good. How about we talk for a minute while we are going through and finding a couple questions, because the mouse is a little funky. What do you see is going on in the market right now? What's the current climate of the market?
Can I speak a little bit about it? So,
Matt, can you do me a favor and you choose the questions, because the way the screen is set up, I need like an actual mouse. Not. Thank you, handsome.
So here's what we've been seeing in the market so far. Wholesale volume of transactions has spiked. Holy. Listings on the MLS, active listings on the MLS down. Pendings on the MLS up. Wholesale deals up. Buyer activity up. Seller confidence up. Interest rates starting to creep down. Bottom, I believe, probably hit. That's my guesstimate at the moment right now, because here's the facts, right? I mean, it could get worse. I'm not going to argue if you feel with the next, because I know the Fed's going to continue to raise and there could be some more pain, but I feel like that people are now coming to the conclusion that, oh my gosh, this is my chance to buy.
Yes.
Look, we did not see this big flood of listings on. Everybody was like, crash.
How about new home builds?
I mean, they're stalled, bro.
They're stopped.
They're stopped.
That's a 6-month machine that needs to get revved back up.
But we were already 5 million houses in the deficit before it started.
I know.
Right? So if we were already 5 million houses low, and now builders have stopped, okay? And then we've got all the people house locked in the 2% and 3% loans that if they do sell, they're going to sell to somebody creatively or hold, right? There's so little inventory available. Then you're competing with Invitation Homes, BlackRock, Open Door, Key Glee, every wholesaler in town, all the sub 2 folks, dude, there is no inventory out there. There's not a lot of opportunity out there. And so I think what's happening right now is buyers are looking at the 6% loan and saying, you know what? I'm going to nibble the 6% and I'm going to refi as soon as things in 2-3 years, when things start to get normal again.
That's the conversation agents and loan officers are having right now.
Yep.
Yeah, you're locked in here, but listen, you can refinance this in a couple years, get a lower rate.
Yeah,
no problem.
Date the rate, marry the house.
Right.
That's what's up, dude. And
actually, I disagree with you a little bit.
Good.
I agree with that. I agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I was a loan officer for a couple of years. People don't know that. So when people try and educate me on interest rates, because you always get knuckleheads in the comments trying to educate me on interest rates, ain't gonna happen. I was a loan officer. I know what's up. Okay. What's happening is, we are having a great eye of the storm. I think interest rates are going up again.
They are
2 more times before July.
2 raises. You're right.
Okay, we're gonna have 2 more raises. What happens when we have a rate?
But I think we've already baked in a lot of those raises. Mortgage brokers have already baked it in because they've been saying it's going to happen. So they've baked in the rates.
They baked in the rates before December, and then December came around. Then they brought them back down. So when you're saying, hey, rates are lowering, the Fed hasn't hasn't lowered rates.
Only the banks have.
The banks have, right? Because they anticipated, and then once the rates were raised, they came back down in actual understanding of what the Fed ended up doing. So what's going to end up happening is we're going to have a rate hike again in March. We're going to have another rate hike again in June.
Mm-hmm.
And with another percentage rate, look what happened last year. I know it's the same thing. And when people say there's a 5 million house shortage, does that mean there's 5 million people living on the street?
I mean,
I mean, there might be.
Have you seen?
No,
have you
guys,
seen
come on.
it
We know the
lately?
answer. People are renting. There's no
Yeah, they're renting.
shortage.
They're-
There's no housing shortage. There's people that want to go from renting to buying, but it's not like they're homeless. Okay. There's a desire, but just because there's a desire doesn't mean there's affordability. I think that we're going to lose 20% this year in our real estate market.
20%.
We'll
20%. Last year we lost 16. I
Yeah.
think we're losing 20%. And why did we lose 16 last year? We lost 16 because they didn't start raising rates until February, March-ish.
Yep.
Okay. We had a good quarter at the very beginning.
You're
I
still
think-
predicting what, 6 million sales this year? So what's that? 20,000 properties under contract every day? You know what I
nationwide.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. I'm not saying people are going to stop buying. I just think that what's going to happen, you need to. Oh yeah. Help. Yeah. Matt, guys, give it up for Matt in the comments. He's the man. Thank you. We got to buy like one of them little, ooh, this is great. Thank you, Matt. This is awesome. I get to look at all this kind of stuff. I don't think we're going to have a crash. Okay. I see Grant Cardone talking about a crash and it's going to be horrible. I think that we are going to see a slowdown still.
Okay. Slower than what it was, or like
I think
slow?
we've seen the worst,
Yeah.
which was everybody needs to kind of reset their brain that we're no longer having this moment going on.
that was
we
so
agree
much
there
fun.
that we might have hit bottom.
I don't think we've hit bottom. I think we've hit mental bottom, which it
Okay.
means like, oh my gosh, is it the world going to get worse? No, we're not going to have like in the middle of last year. Remember how it was like just crickets for a little bit,
Mhm.
maybe 30 days or so.
Mhm.
I think that was the mental bottom, right? But now everybody's kind of getting used to the new environment. I think rates are going to go up a little bit. Prices are going to come down a little bit until people and affordability kind of come into an equilibrium. And I think that we're going to take off in 2024.
Oh, and the takeoff is going to be
Crazy.
Oh my gosh.
I love that we're all in this room together.
Yeah.
This is nice. This looks really nice. Dan.
Yeah.
What are you seeing out there? I mean, conversations with property owners. What's the front line?
So it's interesting, right? Because I look at this as like a ripple, right? You throw a rock and then it ripples all the way out. So if it starts here and it finishes here, what that means is that the people over here are having a different experience than the people over here,
Mhm.
even though they're all in the same country.
Mhm.
And I think that's what's happening right now. Last year we did a lot in rural, right? And we actually did really well, partially because nobody else was doing it.
What do you mean? You did well? How?
And meaning that we were doing a lot of wholesale deals out there. We were
Love
doing transactions where like, people would be like, "Hey, this is
There
in the
was
middle of
buyers.
nowhere." There were buyers.
Awesome.
They're not anymore. We're actually in the process right now this week of revamping our markets and getting really strict about being in city centers, because in these rural markets, we switched to 30 to 50% to ARV on our asking. That's what we're asking. That's where we're coming in, period. Anything above 50, we're not talking.
Mhm.
Even still, we're getting 10 to 20,000 on average lower offers than what we're bringing the deals at in these rural markets. So it makes me wonder if in the city centers and the metros, people are starting to catch on to what you guys are saying, but there's still people who are very, very heavily in this country that are farther out who have not felt the full effect of this yet. And that makes me think maybe we're 6 to 8 months before everybody realizes what's happening and we're really able to kind of understand what the trajectory is.
Yeah.
Yeah, good insights. Yeah.
Notice of interest, attorney in fact, put them on the MLS with a flat fee broker and watch what happens.
Interesting.
I'm just telling you.
Interesting.
I mean, if they're in DC, if you can get a retail seller.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if nobody's out there, if somebody wants to sell their property and they're absentee owners and they own in these like outskirts, not in skirts,
Outskirts.
where we
Skirts.
live, the outskirts.
Dropping skirts.
Use those two documents, put it on the market and see what happens.
That's a good point.
Check this out. Somebody sent me this article, but I haven't read this article yet.
Yeah.
Have you rent control?
Oh, I know. about
Nationwide rent control. So check this out. This is from Bigger Pockets. Okay.
Mhm.
Biden-Harris administration is responding to rent-burdened nation with new actions designed to promote a fair rental market. Kiss my ass.
Do you know why they do this? Because we need workers in the cities.
Yeah, we need workers.
They can't afford to live outside of the city. Who's gonna clean the buildings? Who's gonna clean the
brother.
the trains?
I listen. I 100% agree that we have affordability is necessary in rent. But here's the fact: is we live in a capitalism. We live in capitalist America.
Yes.
Okay. And so if rent is what it is,
Yeah.
does that mean that we may need to start changing the way that we view how we rent homes?
Well, it's already
Instead of putting in
it's
rent
already happened in major cities.
communist rent control.
It's already in major cities. There's a reason they need people to work in the cities.
Yeah, you got LA.
And by the way, I totally disagree with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I totally agree with you
Yeah.
1000%. All I'm saying is what's the solution?
You know
Like,
how hard
bus people in every day?
No, but I think what ends up happening is we got to figure out how to rent out property in more efficient manners.
Okay.
And more like, because you go to Europe, bro,
Yeah.
and you see how people live. Like, you know, more people live in higher density areas, and they got more people in the house, and
Yeah.
like it's different.
Yeah.
And they're happy, and they bicycle to work, and life is just cool. They're eating croissants, and everything's cool,
Croissant.
But all of a sudden here, it's like, yo, I think I deserve to live in a 3,500 square foot house,
Yeah.
and I want the
No, I
administration.
just disagree with all that.
But
yeah.
I want the administration now to say, hey, you're not allowed to increase your rent when everything else costs more money. My plumber's more expensive. My fixtures are more expensive. The fixing, when you guys, wreck my house, I got to fix that stuff. And all that's more expensive. My utilities are more expensive. Everything has gone up. You want to now add on rent control to that? Give me a break. When you stop taxing me at 40%, when you stop inflation at 9%, when you stop printing money, then talk about rent control. But at the end of the day, you're taxing me everywhere I go. I'm taxed when I earn. I taxed when I spend. I'm taxed and I'm taxed from inflation.
Well,
I'm constantly
You're,
taxed.
you're taxed when you make it, and you're taxed when you spend it.
That
It's
goes back to
crazy.
we don't even own the properties we own
Yeah, because the tax, the state, the
because we know who owns the land.
property tax.
Who owns it's called
Yeah.
property tax.
You don't pay your property taxes.
They
you
will
lose that
take
house,
any
100%.
properties. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's
But I think
interesting.
rent control in major cities is necessary. I really do. I don't think it's necessary in the suburbs. I don't think it's necessary in most cities. I think that if there's a high density area where there is a lot of people and a lot of services that are required to keep the utilities and the functionality of those areas, people can't afford it on the wages that they earn. So that's why they pick certain spots and certain buildings and certain things that they can rent control. It's not like they're going to go in and take your house that's in a multi-million-dollar neighborhood and say, oh, you can't rent it for higher
But
than
that's what they
this.
do in LA, bro.
Well, yeah, because
You
it's
know,
the density.
Right? Like in
But there's
LA,
got to be zones,
if
right?
I rent my house on the beach right now in Marina Del Rey,
Right.
okay?
Right.
If I go rent that out today,
Mhm.
and I say I rent it out at whatever, I give a guy a break.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, hey Dan, you're a good dude. You want to come live in my beach house for 6 months? I'll give it to you at $5,000 a month. My mortgage is
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you at 5 because it's sitting empty. We haven't had time to go
Sure.
and check it out. Okay.
Yeah.
Dan decides, hey, you know what? I like it here. I'm not leaving.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I'm not leaving. Okay. Even though we said a few months, I'm not going anywhere. So I'm staying. So rent control says now I can only increase his rent like 3% a year.
Is it what they're trying to do like across all rentals?
Bro, that's what it is.
I guess it's a slippery slope.
It's a
I'd have to look
massively
into it,
slippery
yeah.
slope. It is bananas.
You know what would be an interesting guess? So a couple of years ago, before I got into real estate, I used to do government contracts, consulting for small businesses, things like that. And we used to have,
You were a spy.
I was a spy a little bit, but don't tell anybody.
I love
he's
his
holding
mic.
the
Yeah,
mic.
I love
What
the
is he
mic.
doing? But it was funny because when we were doing this, there was a big construction project, which is why we got brought in to help the businesses because they were all shut down for 18 months while they were putting this transit project in through the middle of downtown in Albuquerque, right? And so while they're doing this project, you have people that do feasibility studies from all over the country, right? And these people have like numbers about the best way.
Make
Do you
sure
want to
your
hold on for me,
make sure your
too?
lips touch
That'd be
the
fun.
tip.
Okay, you want me to
Put your-
touch the
put your
tip?
lips on your
Touch the
tip.
tip. Okay. All right. Touch the tip, guys. But these guys were experts at running the numbers, and it's really interesting to see the math. And they have these charts that break down the value of city center walkability, right? And being able to have where you live in the place that you work, you have a place, you got your house right behind your office, and how much financial stability comes from that. And there was a huge push for it. from the top down in that era. It was right before COVID came.
Mhm.
And so it kind of went silent after that. I would be really interested in hearing somebody who works in that world and does those studies and hear their perspectives on these things,
Mhm.
because it's just a perspective. Those are the numbers that none of us see,
Yeah.
but that those do have an effect on what we end up buying and selling properties for.
That's real. That's real talk.
Okay, so here's a great question. Musica Cheetah 805.
Love it.
Hey y'all, question. Seller will not take less than 300 and owes
Mhm.
225. Well, there's something very important that you did not tell us.
What's it worth?
What's it worth? Do y'all think it would be best to do an novation agreement or sub two?
Well, first of all, the property's been sitting on the market on the market at 300,000,
Mhm.
right? So it's on the market. So it's obviously overpriced,
Okay, so
or somebody would have bought it.
this is where novation, in my experience, novation is worthless in this situation.
Yep.
If it's not selling at 300, seller wants 300. How are you going to take a house that's already on the market at 300 and then go mark it up for, what would you have to sell that for? 360, 370 to really make any money. This is definitely not a novation agreement. This is a sub 2 deal. Now, still, you could do a hybrid, right? So you guys go type in Payson, Jerry, Norton, hybrid, and we did a 3-part series on hybrids. This is a hybrid deal. You can take the deal, you can assign it, right? I bought 2 deals today, 2 sub 2 deals on an assignment, so you can wholesale these deals. The way you're asking the question tells me you are probably not ready to be owning real estate as a landlord, which means that you should be wholesaling, which is awesome, right? Wholesale this deal. It's a sub 2 deal. So what I would do is I would get in touch with a sub 2 student, go to Creative Finance with Pace Morby Facebook group and go in there and say, I need one of Pace's students in this specific area so I can work with you on this specific deal. Are you in Pace Morby's group? We can connect there. I don't want to put my email or number here and get spammed. Yeah, that's right. Sometimes you get these dating services that will spam you and you'll end up getting married to some robot. It'll be super weird. Okay.
Maybe it's a nice robot,
Right?
you know?
Oh, this is interesting. Property is priced at 360. ARV is 515. Okay. I'm gonna. This
What
is
was
an
the
interesting
300
thing.
then?
I think that's what they want.
That's what they want.
Seller
That's their,
won't
but their
take
bottom.
less than 300.
Okay, so
Got
can I ask a couple questions to the comping master of the planet?
Give it.
When you see numbers like this, do you immediately go, "This is not a deal"? Because actually, better question. Do you immediately say ARV is not 515? Because if it was 515, this thing would have sold already.
Yeah. When was 515 the ARV? Was 515 the ARV in March of 2022? Right. That's what I want to understand. Like, is how recent is the 515 comp? Is that a true comp or not? What market is this in? Because again, it's market specific on what percentage of ARV you need to be buying at. Right. And then also 90K to repair. I mean, okay, that tells me that it's an extensive remodel, or it could be a big house and it could be a cosmetic remodel, because 90K on a larger house ain't going to get nothing but cosmetics done. Right. We've done some remodel space like where it's like you're into 200s, it happens. And so if it's a full gut, and so I would still need more information, Musica Cheetah 805. I would need still more details. Like, tell us about the market. What size of house is this? Give us a little bit more, and I'm happy to. In fact, look, you share the address. You don't have it under contract. Let's like underwrite it live. Let's underwrite this live, and let's see what this is all about.
Love that. Claudio, you said go back up and scroll up. I ain't scrolling up that far. I scrolled up for about a long ass time. Okay.
Guys, we got 545-ish, 600 people across platforms. Do us all a solid, yourself included, by giving yourself karma, good karma points, and smash the like button, please. And share this on your feeds. Snap a photo on your IG, tag Dan. Make sure you're following Dan. What's your IG, bro?
Daniel.theq.
Daniel.theq on IG. Tag Brent, Pace, myself in your stories. Get the word out. Wholesale Hotline. Honestly, guys, I'm on some really, and we're actually all on some incredible podcasts. And our numbers are like, there's hundreds of thousands of people listen to Wholesale Hotline. And you guys help us do that by sharing it and by spreading the word. But remember, the more people that come to Wholesale Hotline, that communicate with you guys in the chat is the more free networking you get to do every Monday night. And so by not sharing this, by keeping it to yourself, you're actually stopping yourself from meeting a potential deal partner, a potential JV situation. So do yourself that favor and share it,
Okay.
including us.
Here's Kenya Simon. She says, Mayor Pace, thank you. That tells me you watch Triple Digit Flip.
Yeah.
Can we have everyone's take on new developments? Yes. Just like every exit strategy in real estate, it depends on who you are, where you are, and what you have in that moment, right? Who you are, meaning, are you brand new? Are you 20 years experience? What you are, or what you're trying to accomplish might be, I don't want to wholesale anymore, right? Because I maybe moved to Alaska and I don't want to do it virtually. I want to own real estate. I want to own rental properties. I don't know what your exit strategy is. Know thyself. Okay. Know thyself. When you're hearing advice, I actually ran into somebody the other day and they go, Pace, I watched your Zero to Hero series and I went out and bought, all these virtual assistants. And I go, okay, cool. So you're trying to wholesale? No, I don't want to wholesale. Like, so you want to do 10, 15 deals a month, but you only want, so what do you want? They go, I want to buy 12 rentals a year. I'm like, you don't even need to generate leads to do that. You could just, in the sub 2 community, I buy 40, 50 deals a year from the sub 2. In fact, Carolyn and Myron are right here. They'll sell you deals right here in DFW or in other areas, right? And are you selling any of those to me? Which one? What cities do you have?
San Angelo and Abilene.
Okay, I'm a San Angelo buyer because I own that 43 unit in San Angelo. If you guys got a property there, send it over to me. Okay.
How many of you guys want to see Wholesale Hotline have a live audience every Monday? I think this is cool.
Carolyn and Myron, why don't you just move here? I just don't get it. Yeah, you guys should get a little like Jerry Norton and his wife have, like a sex apartment. Sorry.
It's on the inskirts.
It's on the inskirts. So when I was coming up,
that was called a callback joke, by the way.
Yeah, that was good.
When I was coming up in the game, I actually partnered on a 50 lot development with the people who sold you this building.
That's right.
Okay. And I, prior to that, had probably built 200 new builds as a contractor.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, I have the experience. I have the merit badge that says I've built hundreds of homes. It brought me zero joy at all. I didn't feel like I was helping anybody. There was no distressed seller I was helping. There was no buyer I was truly helping at the end of the day. They could have picked my house or another house three houses down. I made less money in development based on longer timeframes and a lot less predictability. In a wholesale transaction, whether it's sub 2 or seller finance or cash transaction, a lot of predictability, a lot, right? Very minor adjustments along the way of like, I think I can make 20,000 on this assignment and maybe I get a bidding war and I get up to 23,000. Or maybe I can't find a buyer, got to adjust it down to 15,000. But here's what happens in development. People think it's big and sexy and amazing. And then you get one hiccup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know Jamil has a development story and that's where I'm kind of leading right now is I want Jamil to talk about this. Typically developers have a lot more patience, which requires a lot more patient resources.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can sit on dirt. You can sit on this kind of, even I've done land novations where I pay the seller once the house has already been built and my buyer comes in and buys the deal. Still 24 months to make what I thought I was going to make in 9 months. Right. And so when you're doing land development, it depends on who you are. If you have a 9-to-5 job, you don't want to go out there and hustle and you think this is really fun to develop and you want to make a couple $100,000 a year, then go do that. Okay. But if you're trying to build a business model that is predictable and scalable, that you can put systems and processes into, you're not Shea Holmes. Okay. You're not Toll Brothers. You're out there doing onesie twosie stuff. You are completely susceptible to interest rates. One interest rate hikes, your profitability goes from $100,000 to $12,000 and it completely destroys your deal. I'm not a fan of land development. I would rather wholesale the land to a developer and then potentially partner with that developer on the back end, which is what I should have done on most of my development. Said, I don't want to be involved. I don't want to manage. I don't want to deal with it. I'm going to take a smaller assignment fee on the front end, take a larger back end piece of like 20% because I want to stop by and learn some stuff, but I want to have my eyes on the prize, doing things that's predictable, scalable, etc. Jamil.
So 2 land development situations for me. First, got into development when I was in Canada.
Yeah.
That's when everything turned and I went broke. So I went from 12 million to negative 1.8 million. And that happened in a matter of 6 months.
Mhm.
So you want to learn how to go broke fast, get into development. No joke. So be so rich that you can actually, like, that's why the majority of the real developers out there are publicly traded companies, so that they can float these types of situations. They can float market fluctuations. They can float interest rate hikes. They can float it. Being smaller, being just like a private investor, even if you've got millions and millions of dollars, you can absolutely get smashed in development. The second story, I had a 4-acre parcel that I owned with Chris Simon, and we owned it in Arcadia, one of the greatest areas here in Phoenix, Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful parcel of land. We should have wholesaled that thing as soon as I got it under contract. But what happened was
How much would you have made on the wholesale?
On the wholesale, we probably would have made, I think, America Home Builders or something. America's Fine Home Builder. They were probably going to give us about $250,000 on the immediate contract flip, right? We didn't take it because we got greedy, right?
Oh yeah. Were you also blinded by the light, meaning like, ooh, I could be part of a development project?
100%. The greedy. Got greedy, and that's why I'm going to call it out what it was. We got greedy. Okay, we were sitting there doing the math, sitting with Chris and his brother, and looking at the mathematics of it, and said, guys, if we just go and title this, if you guys don't understand what I'm saying is, first we had to buy the land, you got to rezone it.
Yep.
Okay, then after the rezone, you got to get your entitlements done, and then after that, you can start building. Okay, so there's a process, and that all takes time. What ended up happening is we go in, we buy it, we go in for the rezone.
Mm-hmm.
So that took time and cost money. Then we go in for entitlements, and guess what happens? You get the entitlements and you think we've got something that builders want to buy. But when you get your entitlements, what are you doing? You are submitting a product to planning and development and saying, this is what we're going to build.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden you get the national home builders who don't like to change their product.
Yeah.
They want to build the exact same flipping house that they built in this neighborhood over here, that they built in that neighborhood over there, that they built in that neighborhood over there. So any 4-acre or 5-acre parcel that they come across, they know the exact product that they want to build in that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not your product. It's not what you think.
This is why you should have wholesaled the deal to them, because they would have put their product in planning and zoning.
100%.
Instead of you assuming that you knew anything better than these guys.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So what we end up doing then is having to continue holding it. We then wholesale it to D.R. Horton, which is America's home builder, nationally, publicly traded company. Okay.
Isn't D.R. Horton like a donut shop in Canada?
That's Timmy Hortons.
Oh, Timmy Horton. Got it. Okay.
But D.R. Horton, America, nothing against D.R. Horton. They're, fabulous company. They closed. They did everything that they're supposed to do. But here's the deal, right? So they hold us through this entire timeline now that they got to go and re-entitle it.
Mm-hmm.
So they got to go and
because they got to do it with their plan.
Yeah, they got to do it with their product because they want to build their crappy product. They're American. They're
nothing
great.
Against them.
They're great.
Nothing against
their
them.
cookie cutter product.
Their cookie cutter product. Yeah, they want
in Arcadia.
Yes, they want to put their product on the property. Okay, then guess what happens? Right towards the end of close, they say, "Hey guys, we expected to get 59 lots on this, but we didn't get 59 lots because our product was a little different than your product, and we got 55 lots."
Mm-hmm.
So now, based off of the metrics and the math, this is what we're actually going to pay you. And it's like, you've been holding this thing for years.
Yeah.
Okay. Like you're into this, we're debt service, and it's
always in
you.
the back of your mind, randomly, like once a month, you're probably thinking about it, or maybe once a day.
Every time I'm writing the check, bro, every month I'm writing 20 grand.
Oh.
That's just my piece.
Yeah.
Right. Every month I'm writing 20K. Iman's writing 20K. We're holding this sucker.
What was the name of your guys' partnership? Should have wholesaled this shit, LLC.
Yes. Yes, because at the end of the day, okay, at the end of the day, do you remember how much money I made on this deal?
I think $1.
I don't, but I thought that
$18.
they assigned it to somebody.
$18.
Didn't they assign it to somebody?
They did assign it to somebody.
Right. They went in and got you to get a price reduction,
They got a
right?
price reduction.
Uh-huh.
They reassigned it to somebody else.
Uh-huh.
They made over $1 million, and I made $12.
No.
$12.
Wow.
After he got all his money back, he made $12.
What a
How
story.
much time?
Oh, 2.5 years, like
Yeah.
almost 3 years. And I closed.
Let's start a land development
Yeah.
like series on your YouTube
Yeah.
channel. What do you think?
Yeah.
This is making me really want to be a developer.
Yeah. And here's the best part about it is that the closing day
Uh-huh.
was my wedding day, March 8th. Okay. I thought I
Like
was
anniversary or
no, the
day
day
you're getting married?
We're in San Diego getting married. And right before getting all this, I'm meeting with a mobile notary signing. And
For
this is
$12.
and no. This is buying, right? So
Yeah.
I'm about saying I do,
Yeah.
right, to my wife and saying, hey, I just got us into a $20,000 a month mortgage payment.
Ooh.
I'm a winner. You did a good job marrying this guy,
Yeah, you did all right.
and she
Just
did
on
all
the
right in the
skirts.
end. She
Did you have
a-
the glasses back then?
no.
No. Okay.
No, I would have been able to see the writing on the wall, and it said, "This is a bad. this is a bad move, bro."
But it pops up, and that to me, when I was younger, was always the dream.
Of course,
Like,
it's sexy.
You see the people that like make an impact in the world.
They
You
drive
wanna
Rolls
make an
Royces.
impact,
The developers,
right?
they drive the Rollies, homie.
Yeah, but it's like, how much money do they have backing them? You have to have. I remember
Hundreds of millions.
when
bro.
after I read this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, in college, I knew one person in real estate, and that was Greg Bamford, and he developed in the East Valley these white wing farms.
Oh
these
yeah, it's
big,
great development.
big
Yeah.
developments.
Yeah.
But growing up, he lived in this tiny house because he lost it all in development during the savings and loan
Yeah.
in the 80s. So in the 90s, they were in this tiny townhouse, right? And then he started building it back up and he said, if you don't have 10 years of funding money set aside for any project that you're going to do, you're going to lose it all. You're going to lose it all.
Yeah,
and,
there was
and people lose it all. People give their money back all the time because they go from wholesaling to fix and flip, and then they're into development, and then all of a sudden something
They're broke.
squeezes a little bit. The economy, the accordion of the economy squeezes just a little bit. All the funding's gone, the bank shut down,
Oh, yeah.
and they're left holding the bag.
Stacy Brimhall, one of the richest people in the
Yeah.
entire state. Do you know Stacy Brimhall?
Yeah.
So Stacy Brimhall is a man, by the way, guys, but he's one of the biggest developers in the entire state. And he owns land that he goes and puts like olive orchards on
Mm-hmm.
that he plans on building houses on at some point.
Really?
Like these people are smarter than us, okay?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to create this thing called the Queen Creek Olive Mill
Mm-hmm.
where people can go have weddings and dates and all that kind of stuff because I'm going to sit on this land for 15 to 25 years
Wow.
before I develop it. And so I'm going to go create other businesses on this land to make sure that my taxes and my
Mhm.
insurance are paid and I have some income coming in.
And just let the
Yep.
people come to you
Yep.
because he buys them out there.
He buys them out there.
Yeah.
He sits on them for 15,
Yeah.
25 years. So
Wow.
look, is it cool? Is it definitely something that at some point you should be doing? Yes.
I think
no.
no, I think you
Hold on,
got.
I'm just saying in the
Okay.
future,
If
let's
it's
say you're
if it's in
56.
your heart.
Yeah. If it's in your heart, you're 56 years old. You've got the resources. You've built up.
Hundreds of millions.
Hundreds of-
Uh-huh.
Stacey Brimhall's family has over $1 billion.
Okay.
Like easily.
Be
Yeah.
a developer.
Yeah. Be a developer.
They also
Um,
bought land in Arizona in the 1700s before it was a state.
That is correct.
That
The
doesn't hurt.
The Brimhalls, the
So get a
Ellsworths,
time
the
machine.
Stapleys, all
Yeah.
of them, right?
Yeah.
So, like I was telling Armand about Ellsworth Road
Yeah.
and Stapley Road and all these Mormon farmers that came out and settled the East Valley of where I live. Those are the rich families in town. They sat on land for 100, 200
Wow.
years. And if your family hasn't had a road named after them, you probably shouldn't be developing shit.
Interesting. What
You know
if
what I'm
if you get a time
That's
machine?
perfect.
Then maybe you can get into developing.
Yeah, if you get a time machine and or were born in a different family, then
Yeah.
definitely. But what my point to the why I wanted to point this out is I wanted to point out that you guys should be out there wholesaling and getting your business built up. One thing I really loved about Brent when I first met him is I was like, man, this guy has a machine that doesn't require him every single day.
Mhm.
And he's not trying to go out there and have 400 employees.
Yep.
And you really helped me understand how to pay myself and how to manage my money. And go out and build something and then build another thing and then build another thing.
Listen, you do your first deal, you fire your boss,
Yeah.
then you fire yourself.
Yeah.
And that's a great day. But people are trying to fire themselves way too early. People are trying to hire $8 an hour VAs to do all the work, and they have an $8 an hour business.
And an $8 an hour mindset.
Of course. I mean, it is. I mean, you need to, if your top people in your business are not making over 6 figures, you're not going to be in business long. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, that's
if your top people are not making 6 figures, you are done. If you're relying on leveraging somebody else's skills at $8 to $15 an hour, you're going to get crushed. You're going to get crushed. It's not sustainable.
There's also something there where people will, you talk about this all the time. It's called creative avoidance. And so what they'll do is they'll get the shiny object syndrome of like, look at these beautiful buildings. I'm going to go learn land development. A year and a half later, they're like, damn, man, I literally didn't do. Meanwhile, Carolyn and Myron Briley right here in the audience have in 12, 13 months of knowing me, I've watched them accumulate 70 doors.
Awesome.
70 doors. Today, they got 3 deals under, this is 3 sub 2 deals
Wait
in
a
the
second.
contract. Yeah.
Let's
What
go.
are we
Boom,
doing
boom,
here?
boom, 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 boom.
Bing, bing, bing.
Bing, bing, bing.
Can we
Let's
also
go.
get one for Armand's hair, please?
Armand's hair.
A handsome devil.
So, very, very unbelievable. But what you do is you got to go through those pain points. Have you guys had it's been super easy, right? Like no problems, no struggles, no frustrations, none of that, right? Cheesecake, she says. It's such cake. It's cheesecake. It's like goes right through it. So you got to go through those motions. You got to learn those experiences, build resources, credibility, confidence, etc., to compound and compound and compound. And you got to have a compounding year.
Yep.
This year is another compounding year for you guys. And then in the third year, you know what people are going to do? They're going to go, where did you come from? You just blew up
Overnight.
Oh, isn't that
overnight.
Love that one.
So here's the thing: creative avoidance.
Yep.
Brent taught me this word. You watch people get excited about land development, they go and chase it because it keeps their brain occupied and tricks you into thinking that you're progressing in life.
Yeah.
You ain't progressing in life unless you're gaining a skill. Information is not a skill.
Mhm.
A skill is something that you can apply to a tangible way to monetize. That is what a skill is.
Learning is not for knowledge, it's for action.
Let's go. Well, Brent, you said something that's really important, man. You said that you go and you earn all of this money and then you give it all back. It's a crazy perspective if you think about it, right? Because you're just giving it back to all of the work you put in for nothing, right?
Oh, I know.
And it's kind of like what Pace said. He said, know thyself, which is essential to life, right? But you also have to know your strengths and your weaknesses, right? And if you have a propensity to run away from things that you know you should be doing, then you should know yourself enough to pace yourself, right? And understand when maybe I'm getting a little bit too far ahead and, maybe get some advice.
There's this great article I read in the Calgary Herald because I grew up there, and so there was this developer that I'm not going to say his name out of respect, but
Timmy Horton.
No, he built skyscrapers. This guy, that was his game, skyscrapers, and it was this terrible news article that was written as he was sitting there eating his dinner at this steakhouse in Calgary called Caesar's. It's where they made the Canadian Bloody Mary, which is called a Caesar. It's where they invented it. It's just Clamato instead of tomato juice. Anyways, I digress.
Not really. Now you got my mouth watering for some Clamato, bro.
What the story was is that as he was there eating his dinner at Caesar's, a tow truck came and towed away his Bentley while he was at dinner.
Yeah.
And the Bentley got towed away, and when he went to go pay, his car declined. And that was the day that his entire world crumbled, and he didn't realize that everything in a matter of that day, because he had been so in his world of I'm a 100 millionaire. I built skyscrapers. I've got access to all the money. His bank had frozen everything. They were repoing everything was coming crash. It was like, imagine like if you were, being investigated and the feds were coming to raid you and they just surprise attack you.
Yeah.
That's how they kind of do it in Canada with the banks. They just come, the banks are so powerful in Canada that they coordinatedly freeze you. They come and take, because I had my stuff repossessed in Canada when I went broke. I remember when the tow trucks came and took our cars.
Were
and
you
our
at Caesars?
No, I was not. I was in my home looking out my window, watching the vehicles get towed away, bawling my eyes out. And days later, we were out of our home.
Damn.
And so, again, this terrible land development, it smash you. So please, guys, don't do that.
Chuck Lemaine. When I do the Morby method strategy I created about 4 or 5 years ago, do I need to do the hard money deal before I get my investor loan? Okay, so go to my channel. There's a brand new video about this within the last 2 weeks. In fact, the video is called something. You never tell your lender this is actually, I don't know why my team named it that. I would love for my team to tell me why they named it that. But in 2 weeks, it got 24,000 views. So it did pretty well on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But go and watch that video. It was posted in the last 2 weeks. And there's so many comments of people saying, oh my gosh, I finally understand the full flow of the Morby method. Go and watch that. For so many Morby methods. Same thing. Question when utilizing the Morby method, how can you go about talking to sellers about taking second position? Same thing. Go to my YouTube channel. All right. I have active buyers in Atlanta. I'm an active buyer in Atlanta. Hey, Carolyn and Myron, why have you not sold me a deal today? I've only bought 2 deals today. I'm on a Texas road trip in a couple of weeks. I would like to go visit a property that I bought with you guys. What's the best deal? What's the one that you should be selling me? Is it San Angelo? What's my cost to get into the deal? Figure it out. Present the deal to me while we're live on Wholesale Hotline. I need people to see you guys.
How did you find the deal?
Probably a JV from another student.
Agent outreach. Okay. And
Okay.
you called up the agent?
Wait, I thought agents don't like creative finance. Is that you can't do creative finance with agents? That's not possible.
This was a doozy. She said it was illegal. She said not to do it.
Oh.
Yep.
Advised her client not to do it. And that's been a month ago. And she called me today. We walked into Marlon Johnson's house, and 2 agents called me right when we walked in. There's something magic in his new house. And she goes, I think this is the best thing to do for my client.
I love it. I love
So
it.
for those who didn't hear it, the agent said it was
Okay.
illegal, that they should not do it, and then changed her mind and called back. And
She says, I think this is the best thing for my client. So we talked
Can
about
you
this.
come here for a second? Do you mind if we put them on real
No,
quick?
of course. These are
Come here.
these are
Come here.
these are
Sit
some
here.
of my these
Look-
are some
look at
of my
Carolyn hiding in the
great
background.
leaders in sub 2.
So
This is Myron Briley, guys.
Myron.
His
What's up,
his wife
everybody?
is way prettier than he is.
Myron. So how did you first approach the agent?
We had another sub 2 student call for us,
Okay.
and we provided the list. She
By the
called
way,
the
this is
agent.
something I teach inside of sub 2. When you're a brand new student, you need somebody to plug into. You go to some of the leaders.
You don't teach this.
Oh,
Your
I do.
students teach this.
Yeah, they do now. They do
I'm just
do
kidding.
now. Yeah.
No, so you have somebody new calling the agent. The agent says, no, you can't take over a loan. That is totally illegal. There's a due on sale clause. Didn't you know that?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. All the things.
And then how did they know to call you back now when they couldn't sell that deal?
Well, we followed up. We followed up left and right.
You
Like-
do follow up?
Oh yeah.
You called
Oh
them
my
back.
gosh.
Yeah, I called them back.
They
yeah,
told
of
you no,
course.
and you called them back again.
Yeah, we kept on them.
Interesting.
Yep.
That's
She was a red mark, and we just kept following up. So I said, hey, they were going to take it back to the bank and try to do like kind of a short sale type of thing,
okay.
right?
Yep.
You destroy their
It did
credit.
not work. Yeah,
Yep.
did not work
And they
out.
didn't get approved.
Yeah.
It did not get approved. They are a little bit behind in payments,
Okay.
so you'll have to navigate that one with us. But
Condition
it's
of the
not too
property?
perfect.
Beautiful condition.
Why aren't we
Beautiful.
doing a deal right now?
Why can't they sell it? Is there no equity?
There is no equity.
Right.
There is no
Okay.
equity.
So there's no equity. Beautiful
Oh my
house.
gosh, I can't buy it now because it doesn't have equity, guys. I'm so sorry.
When did they buy
you
it?
need to look at it.
When did they buy it?
Bro, Myron, you know I'm
The
joking.
beginning of last year.
Okay, so good interest still.
Interest
rate?
3.5.
Great.
Come
great.
on.
Yeah.
Good job.
Great. Ring that bell.
Okay, so what's my entry to get into the deal?
I think it's 35 or 40.
And that's
Will you
including
bring
your
this bill?
assignment?
That's including our assignment.
Okay, and what's my cash flow? What's my cash flow on it? What's my
I
what?
don't know yet. Let me get that to you.
Figure out my cash flow. I want to teach people how to figure out cash on cash return because today Kihano watched me negotiate from an 18% cash on cash return to a 27% cash on cash return
In like 2.5 minutes.
in 2.5 minutes. It was great. So I want to work on a deal with you guys.
I don't know if you follow history, but there's like this old ancient philosopher, and he said something along the lines of equity comes, equity goes,
Yeah.
but the cash will always flow. I think it was like Pacius Morbius.
Oh, I thought it was Timmy Horton.
Timmy Horton. Timmy Horton.
Okay. Jamil,
Yes.
in your franchises nationwide right now, are you guys seeing activity bubbling up? And in what markets are they bubbling up? You feeling really good? Tampa blowing up, Atlanta
Florida
blowing
is
up?
going crazy. Actually, we're not seeing any specific market getting hammered.
Yeah.
Like where it's like bad. In fact, if we're going to be like really, really, really granular with like where I think the biggest corrections have happened, it's here in Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's happened in Austin, Texas,
Mhm.
and
A
Boise,
correction?
Idaho.
A correction? you said?
Correction.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's where we've seen the biggest drops in like equity, but not activity, right? Activity is strong. And so Florida has been just phenomenal. Texas has been phenomenal. And Phoenix, we're still killing it. Like we're still like you're wholesaling here, you're wholesaling here. We're doing massive volume in Phoenix. It's still our greatest cash maker.
Yeah.
So, I'm not
Tucson too. Tucson's fantastic.
Tucson's
right now.
fantastic. It's not there. We have not seen trouble with respect to it's mindset, right? Actually, there's a comment from Giancarlo Lewis. If you can find it, I'd love to address it.
Was it a long time ago?
I know it's new.
I'll find it.
So this is So he calls me Jamila. Thanks. So Jamila,
I like to call him Jamillionaire. I'm
He's a millionaire.
That's okay.
Jamila, yeah.
If any of you,
Today before the show.
if any of you
I like
have,
that.
if any of,
Jermil still wins for me.
Jermil still wins.
Jermil.
But Jamila just joined Astro. Learned how to comp pretty well. Getting cold feet on calling for my first deal because when I apply the maximum allowable offer, my offer is low.
Yes.
How can I work the deal to get it done? So first and foremost, let's talk about the way you're thinking about this, my brother. Low in respect to what? List price? Because list price is a wish price. Okay, list price isn't reality. List price is where somebody's expectations who might have been poorly set, or they could be looking at numbers from March or whatever that is. This is all wish, right? Facts are facts. And when you are the buyer, if you are looking at a deal that's been sitting on the market for some time and there's no action or activity there, and you call that person and you say, hey, I am wanting to understand what's happening with the house right now. It's been sitting on the market. Why hasn't it sold yet? You've been getting any offers? And then let the agent speak. Listen and listen and listen. And they're going to give you in that conversation everything you need to open the door. What you're going to find out is that you're either going to have a very stubborn seller who hasn't come to terms and doesn't have motivation quite yet, or you're going to have a stubborn agent who you haven't been able to find alignment with yet. So what I would do is you don't have to force your number on anybody yet. You can plant seeds and harvest in 3 weeks or a month. You can call an agent today and say, how are things going with your listing? I see you've been on the market 97 days. You're listed at 450. I looked at the numbers on this thing. 450 would have worked if the house had been completely remodeled and, it was like March of 2022, but I'm seeing why it's sitting. So my question is like, where's your seller? Are they motivated? Are they really wanting to sell? Or is this like a testing the water kind of situation? There's no way I'm a buyer for this house today. I'm just asking questions.
One thing I've learned from Jamil multiple times.
Jamila.
Jamillionaire. Jermil. Timmy Jamil. Jimmy Horton or Jamil Horton. Is if you're calling an agent to get a deal, you have already failed. You are calling the agent to build a relationship long term.
Absolutely.
And so that's what you're missing out on. You're avoiding the most important part of that entire phone call because you're worried about something that's not even remotely important.
Yeah.
I would say that the average agent deal that we do takes about 6 to 12 weeks for them to warm up or their seller to soften. But how dare I cheat myself, cheat my company, and cheat that agent out of a relationship with me. Because how many times, Kihano, have you done agent outreach? I know you've been on Jamil's challenges, on the agent outreach challenges. How many times on agent outreach do you get a deal from an agent that wasn't even the listing that you called about?
Yeah. When we were calling on those days, it was, I mean, that's just really the way it works. And ultimately it comes down to we get these people who come in to the training calls that we do inside of Sub 2. And the first question I get from them is, oh, well, I'm doing agent outreach, but I'm having a hard time getting around the agent.
What?
Oh yeah.
It's just,
how do I get the owner to cancel their agment with the agent?
right.
I get it all the time.
It's like the old
All the
ladies in
time.
that commercial. That's not how any of this works.
Yeah.
Right. It's and I think people undervalue the value of the relationship. If you can either chase a deal or you can build a relationship.
Yep.
Right. I don't know why you would just be running around.
Jamil has implanted something in my mind of every time I think of an agent, I think of Monique Walker.
Yeah.
So let's rewind this. Go back to Wholesale Hotline and watch the 2 episodes of Monique Walker. She's crushed it twice. Jamil's agent, that combined, they probably made $3 million just in the last 12 months, $1.5 million each. When you say, I'm going to go around an agent, I hear personally, because I know what the value of that relationship is, I hear you saying, hey, how do I go around a Monique Walker and skip out and making $3 million together? That's what I hear.
What I would do, just as a little bit, because Monique and I were trained with the same company, Mike Ferry organization.
Yep.
We called 3 hours a day, every day. What I would do is I would go into any market and I would find somebody that says that they were trained by Mike Ferry and get a list of every single agent in that market and have a good conversation with them. Because guess what? They're on the phones all day.
Calling cancels and
All day,
expires,
calling
building relationships.
and then just make that connection with them. And they're the best of the best of the best. And they know they run into these situations just like Monique.
You know what's
If
funny?
you would have came to me when I was making those calls and you said whatever, I would have given you I would have been like, this is the greatest client of all time.
Yep.
I would have been so hyped up to work with you because 1, you got me paid and that was fantastic. But 2, I knew that if I didn't really know the numbers that an investor would buy at, but now I have this guy here, that would make me feel so much more confident on the phone as an agent.
Yep.
She's the number 5 agent in all of Phoenix, Arizona.
Right.
And you know what she's doing? Group, like, you know how they do like Tupperware parties and whatnot? She's inviting top agents into her office where she sits people down and says, I'm outperforming the MLS and here's how I'm doing it.
Wow.
And she's case studying our deals. She's saying, look, I put this house on the MLS.
We
nothing.
need to get her back. Dude.
Yeah, I put the house on the MLS.
We need to get her
Nothing
back.
happens. Sits on the market 90 days. Trash. Okay. Cancel the deal. I come in back door, call the cancel, bring my wholesaler to the table. I represent the wholesaler as his fiduciary. He pays me my commission. Seller's super happy now because they're not paying an agent a commission. And we outperform the MLS because I'm right now for this year with Monique, out of all the deals that we've done, I've canceled 1.
Right.
Wow. Well, it's what you said at the beginning, right? How do you get good at sales? It's crazy. You care.
Yeah.
You care about the relationship,
Of
and that
course.
scales through whatever you're doing.
Heart.
Yeah. Heart.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love that she's calling on expired listings as well. It's one of my favorite lists to call on. Expired listings are money. So is she calling expired listings herself? She's doing that herself, right?
Every morning at 7
Canceled,
a.m.
expired, FSBOs,
Yeah.
and sometimes just
and
listed,
probates,
just sold.
probates.
What would you say? Just listed solds? What?
Yeah, just listed, just sold. So you call around the neighborhood of a property that you just put on the market, and you call them up and say, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know
This
working
is
with
as
your
an
neighbor."
agent,
Yes.
right? Okay, got it.
Yeah, but you never know who you run across. It could be somebody that has that empty house on the street, and then all of a sudden she knows exactly where to take it. Well, it's been empty. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to put it on the market. Whatever. What about a cash offer? Boom, different conversation.
And like
You
never
know?
and never think like you're gonna offend somebody because you have a conversation and just plant a seed. Like Christina Palmero, I'm gonna give her a shout out right now because she just did a deal with me where this house was a $1.8 million house listed at $1.8 million. I closed at $950. and the sellers thanked me.
Wow.
She thanked me. And when I gave her my first number, it wasn't, she wasn't offended,
Right.
because I did it with class.
Sure.
And I didn't, again, always remember, guys, that when you are working with real estate agents and you just come out of the gate with like, you're listed for too much and this is what my offer is. I hate using this analogy, but I feel this is what it is. It's like going on a dating site and just spamming everybody with D pics. That's what that is.
Yep.
You're not going to get any action. It's not going to happen because you're not coming in this classy. You're not coming in this with actual relationship equity, which is what you're building. You're building equity in a relationship when you have a human conversation.
And I think you're making it harder for other people, because how many times does an agent get this BS offer that you don't perform, you pull out? Next time a wholesaler or an investor calls, they don't want to talk to you because the last 3 investors they talked to,
they call it a low ball when actually it's the real number, but the person didn't spend enough time building enough relationship equity with you to explain how you could present that to your seller.
It's also your tone of voice too.
Big time.
You know what I mean? That's
Big
your
time.
body language on the phone. And if you can communicate, hey, listen, like this is where I'm at. This could be like the backup to the backup to the backup to the backup of whatever, but if at some point you need to sell this, they are ready to sell this, right? And they're just tired of dealing with buyers that are not going to actually close. I want you to consider this. Just keep this, I don't want to offend anybody. You could just keep this in the back of your mind or in your email or whatever else. And just let me know when they're starting to get antsy about this thing. I had that conversation before and we just closed that deal. We just closed that deal, and it was something that I always go 50% of list price.
Wow.
50%.
Wow.
Just did it.
I like this right here. Michael D. Giovanni says, I used to be that agent who said you cannot do this.
Not anymore.
Not
Yeah, me too,
anymore.
brother.
Hey,
Came
welcome
the
to the
Wholesale
light
Hotline.
side.
Me
Welcome to the
too,
light
brother.
side, Michael D. Giovanni.
Welcome to the right side that actually makes more than $40,000 a year.
You can do that?
I think so. I mean, yeah.
Wow.
It is interesting. I keep asking people this question. Have you ever made $1 without another human being involved?
No.
Nope.
Are you sure?
Positive.
100%?
How?
I don't know. I haven't figured Armand. I think Armand might be the guy that cracks
He'll
the
crack
code.
it for you. Actually, Pace.
He'll go.
Is
sure, he'll go.
Bitcoin mining making money without needing another
Somebody
human?
had to mine it. Somebody had to build the hard drive.
Oh, wait, no. Here's
Okay.
the thing. Bitcoin mining is verifying other people's transactions.
Okay, so other people are still involved.
Yes, people have a transaction going on. You're verifying.
I still don't. OnlyFans, no, right? Because there's somebody
built
watching,
OnlyFans. Somebody's watching.
right?
Yeah,
And somebody's performing.
and somebody's performing.
I'm just trying.
Somebody made the lotion.
I've been sitting.
You're digging
Oh,
deep. You're
man.
digging deep.
I've been sitting here trying to figure out, like, because when I hear Pace say that, there's never been a dollar made without more than with just one person. And I've been racking my brain trying to disprove it, and I can't. It's a 1,000%, like that is an absolute truth. So far, I have not been able to find any provable business or any
It's a
provable
receipt
situation.
it's a receipt of value. That's all
Yeah.
money is.
Right. So
it's a receipt,
you got to
yeah.
ask that question, right? Going back to this whole thing of people being afraid to have conversations with people. What I'm not here. That's not what I hear. There's a filtering mechanism in my brain called experience. And that filter allows me to translate what I'm hearing into what you're actually saying. And when you say, I'm afraid to do this, or how do I do this? All I hear is, I don't know that relationships is where I'm going to make all my money. I don't understand that yet. Right. So every single time I add a new relationship to my life, I make more money, or I've planted a seed that will ultimately sprout and will provide fruits.
Yep.
So if the amplification of money requires the amplification of relationships, which requires the amplification of talking to people, we should all get off this podcast right now and get on the damn phone.
You guys remember in the beginning, it was kind of like this, how Wholesale Hotline first started. It was us around a table sitting like this. And we had a cell phone.
Yeah.
And we had a little
yeah.
mic.
Yeah.
And we put the phone on speaker.
I had to change my phone number after that.
And it was like, hey, how incredible. How
That's
many
3 years ago.
3 years ago. How
Wow.
many downloads did Wholesale Hotline have this month?
168,000
Wow.
so far. Month's not over. Thank you, guys.
You got to ring the bell
Thank
for
you,
that, man.
guys.
You got to ring the bell
Ring
for
the
that.
Thank you,
bell.
guys. Here we go. I checked it this morning. I knew you'd ask.
That's if we're gonna say, let's say by the end of the month we're at 180,000
Mhm.
downloads. Is that what's
Mhm.
the average month? Would you say?
Yeah, I mean, it just keeps growing.
So at 180,000 downloads,
Mhm.
and you multiply that by 12,
It's almost 2 million.
that's 2.2 million
Yep.
downloads a year, guys.
Mhm.
This isn't going anywhere. Wholesale is here to stay, and we are elevating the game. We are bringing not only cash transactions to wholesale, we're doing creative deals wholesale.
Mhm.
We are doing everything, talking about it all on this, guys. You are missing the boat if you are not opening your mind and expanding the way that you're doing business. And thank you all who have been tuning in.
Well, the number one thing, we all have YouTube channels. We all go live, whether we're comping, whether we're doing creative, whether we're doing just teaching people how to be better communicators on the phone. And that's not what this show is about. This show is about squatting up. This show is about us three getting together with incredible guest hosts and coming together and just no script, no agenda, just literally just going for it and talking about what's going on in the market, talking about what we love about this business, talking about our relationships, our family, our friends, but most importantly, just squatting up together. You know what I mean? And I think, if you guys can really see that as the seed of the success that you're going to have in this business, then we've done our job. We've certainly done our job, because that's really what it is. And by the way, over the last 3 years, our lives have changed completely. You know what I mean? Absolutely, completely. You guys absolutely took off on a rocket ship. You guys went bananas and have built incredible communities. And I've been able to inherit an incredible community and grow that incredible community.
Congrats on that.
And doing.
I'm so proud of you for
and
that,
just
bro.
being in this building and being able to build an incredible team and
Yeah,
doing all these
you
things.
used to have one little office in the back.
That's
now
it.
you own the whole building.
They
That's
own
it.
the whole building.
That's
Now
it.
look
Ring
at
the
this
bell for that shit.
screen.
Right now,
Yeah.
Giuliano. Come on.
Hey.
That's a good deal.
It's
But
bananas.
It's bananas. No, but that's the whole point of this. People might get frustrated that we're not answering a lot of questions or giving too much instruction. But if you truly read between the lines of each and every minute of the show, you're going to find, weaved into the tapestry of our conversation is stuff that you can implement into your business, whether it's just a mindset, whether it just be the way that you communicate with your friends, whether it just be the way that you challenge your friends or whatever, you know what I mean? It's all weaved in there. And the point is to squat up. And these two guys have been on a tour doing it for the last 5 years, the last 3 years with me. And I just feel blessed and honored to be
Love
on
you,
the show
bro.
with you guys.
We feel
Love
the
you
same
guys.
way.
We love
Yeah.
you.
I was on my straight out of comping call yesterday. I wore my Pace and Jamil Do America hoodie and hat
Oh, you still
yesterday.
have I can't find my hoodies. I got my hats though.
I
I get them reprinted.
get them reprinted because I was wearing it yesterday, and I was feeling the feels yesterday.
Mhm.
I was thinking about you a lot,
Love you,
and I put the hoodie on and I put the hat on, and I just for a moment I took a breath and I sat there and I thought, there was over 450 people comping with me. When I first started straight out of comping, there was maybe 25.
Yep.
15 would show up, and we'd comp houses, right?
Yeah.
And we still do that every Sunday. And I thought to myself, what a magical world this has been. And now we get to do this. And, our executive producer from A&E is watching the show right now. And you know what he's been saying? He's been saying that, guys, we're bringing things onto the show that nobody's talking about. Things aren't even doing.
Yeah.
Things that people have never done on television before. And I'm not at liberty to say what these things are going to be.
Yeah.
But real stuff. Have you ever seen on a television show somebody buy a house sub 2?
Oh.
Episode 5 of this season, we buy a house sub 2.
Mm-hmm.
When has that ever been talked about on national television before?
It's some fake call to an agent. Hey, yeah, you still got that deal? Yeah, we'll offer $419 on it. Deal? Okay, good. And then they get the keys, and then it's reno
Is
time.
that how sales works?
You know what I
That's
mean?
how you do it. Yeah, you have to do the shoulder thing too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like banana. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's banana. You guys changed it all.
I have 6 minutes. I want to buy a deal right now.
Okay.
Can I buy a deal? Can I bring Carolyn up here real quick? We
Carolyn,
you
come
guys saw
on,
Myron.
Carolyn.
Come on, come up
Welcome
here.
to the show.
Thank you.
Guys, stand up real quick. People
Hi.
need to see your jumpsuit.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Next
Coveralls.
over here. Yeah. Next mastermind, we're wearing this jumpsuit. It's gonna be super dope. That's gonna be our swag. Yes, I
That's
love
it.
it.
Sub
Take
two.
a seat, Carolyn. Tell
I
everybody
love
your
it.
Instagram so people can reach out to you.
At Carolyn.Briley. KAROLYN.BRILEY.
Okay, cool. So I want to buy this deal from you guys. I think your assignment fee is a little high. If you guys figure out how to sell this deal to me for $5,000 less, I'm a buyer for it. Do you guys want to sell the deal to me, or do you guys want to go out and sell the deal to somebody else?
Let's sell the deal right now.
You want to sell the deal right now?
Let's do it.
Okay, if you say here's the thing: $5,000 lower assignment fee, so you guys will still make $10,000. Okay, on the deal. I will buy the deal in San Angelo. I already own real estate in San Angelo, so we'll buy it sub 2. It's 3.625 interest rate, which is great. Does cash flow $500 or whatever it is. What I want is that you guys are 2.5 hours from Dallas to San Angelo. Okay, so when I go through San Angelo next week, I want you guys to come down and we're going to shoot a YouTube video at the property.
Would love it.
Sound good? So
Yes.
everybody that was involved in that deal, I will not close escrow on this deal. Just so you know, I have a new rule in all my deals I do. I will not close escrow on a deal where an agent is involved if the agent is not willing to give me a testimonial about how sub 2 is the greatest strategy of all time.
Let's go.
Ooh.
Okay.
That is amazing.
Okay.
Yes.
So you got to call the agent and say, hey, we're ready to close. We're super excited. We just want to make sure once we close at the title company, we want a testimonial about how sub 2 is the greatest strategy of all time.
That's gonna be so good.
I love
Okay.
it.
I've been doing it on all my deals. You guys, there's the most epic one of all time. She was a loan officer and she's like, there's no way that this thing is going to work out. And she goes all the way through and she's like, this is the greatest thing that changed my life. This is unbelievable. She's like, sub 2 changed my life. Just closed on the deal a couple of days ago. So Carolyn
Yes.
and Myron, congratulations. You
Thank
guys
you.
got 3 deals locked up today.
Thank you.
Let's go.
And Carolyn, shake my hand. We just did a deal. Deal. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys.
Love you.
Proud of everything you guys have done.
Thank you.
By the way, have you guys ever learned anything from Jamil Damji or Brent Daniels?
Absolutely. Talking to people.
'Kay,
Cold calling is a joke.
Carolyn, I know how much you are about appreciation. You have a couple of minutes. I want you to look at Brent Daniels while you're on Wholesale Hotline and Jamil Damji and just tell them how much they mean to you.
No, we truly appreciate you. Like both of you guys bring so much to the table. Like Pace isn't who he is without the like overflow and gratitude and everything that you guys bring to the table with him, talking to people, talking to agents.
Yeah.
This is a strategy that we've just brought into our business very recently with the market shift. And it truly is building relationships and following up
That's it.
and being grateful and having those just abundant mindset,
Mm-hmm.
working together, having JV relationships and everything like that. So thank you for taking
Thank
time
you.
every Monday night
Love you. You're the
to
best.
teach
That's
us
incredible.
and be a part of this.
You're
with us.
amazing.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Hey, Carolyn
you.
Briley,
Yes.
Instagram name is what again?
At Carolyn Briley Briley KAROLYN .BRILEY. And my husband, my amazing husband over there at MIRON Briley
BRILEY.
BRILEY.
So here's something real quick, and we're gonna bring Jamil back on here in just a second. Hold on. You guys did agent outreach, which is what Jamil primarily teaches.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You guys had an agent say this doesn't work. It's illegal because when I hear that, what do I hear? I hear I'm inexperienced and I don't know how to make money. That's what I hear. You guys were persistent and consistent. The agent followed up with you guys. You guys locked it up today under sub 2. You guys are wholesaling it to me, therefore showing. So what we're going to do and what I want to do is you guys need to call Molly, and this needs to be in the Pace Studies Zoom vault.
Baller.
Okay. So that people know to send deals to you guys and that I am a buyer in San Angelo, Texas, and that you can wholesale sub 2 deals all day long. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you, Janelle.
That's the first live sub 2 wholesale deal on Wholesale Hotline. Not the last.
First of many.
Not the
Levels.
last. By the way, if you guys want to look up the address in the future, the address, as you guys know, this is not a gimmick. 5905 Merrick Street in San Angelo, Texas. It's about 1.5 miles away from a 43 unit that I bought on seller finance last year. So acquiring
Amazing.
more in San Angelo. I'm a fan of San Angelo. So as we wrap up, I have one announcement to make.
Do it.
I really don't, but I kind of do. I'm going on a long road trip. So Jamil and I are going to be in New Orleans this week.
Yep.
And we're going to be doing a Sub 2 Astro meetup in New Orleans.
Nola, if you're anywhere close to New Orleans, drive out.
Yeah, we'd love to see you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'm going to go on a road trip from New Orleans to Lafayette. I have 240 units I own in Lafayette, so I'm going to go film there. I'm then going to Houston, doing a meetup in Houston. I'm then driving down to Corpus Christi, where I own 30 units there with Carolyn and Myron. I then will be filming there and a meetup in Corpus Christi. I'm driving to San Antonio, owning properties, doing filming, meetup. Then I'm going to Austin, own properties, doing a meetup. Then I go to San Angelo, own properties, doing filming, doing a meetup. Go to Dallas, where I own properties, doing filming, and we'll do a meetup. So if you guys want to hang out, especially the Sub 2 and Astro and TTP communities, we want to see you guys. We will be emailing out everybody hanging out. I would love to get Jamil on the road with me for 10 more days, but I don't know that he wants to. I
got to finish my Bigger Pockets book this month, so I've got to get that done. I do have two things I want to shout out today, just very, very quickly. Close friend of ours, Cesar Pina, his father passed away very recently, and his mother, Rosa Pina, is having a very hard time with it. So if we could all send our love, our prayers to Rosa Pina and the Pina family. Flipping NJ is who Caesar is, just for peace and for the soul of his father, that it rest in eternal peace. I would absolutely be grateful for that prayer. And secondly, I just got news that Tariq El Musa is at the hospital with Heather, and they are about to have a baby.
Wow.
And so a new baby El Musa is on the way. So prayers for a solid, safe delivery for baby El Musa, and prayers for the Pina family for their loss, as life is loss and gain. This is life.
Yep. And that's it.
No, Brent Daniels, what do you got coming up?
Live show Wednesday, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I will see you there on the Brent Daniels YouTube channel.
Quijano, I think you have a website. You and I are going to be doing a boot camp.
Yes, sir.
It's probably, I don't know. Last time we did it in my house.
Yes.
I'm not there other than just to watch you, observe, hang out, meet everybody.
Yeah.
This is your thing. I'm encouraging you to get your talents out there in the world. Do you have a website for people to get on a waiting list to come to your boot camp?
Yes, it's icloseevent.com. So I, like myself, the letter I, closeevent.com.
Boom.
Oh, that's dope.
That's
awesome.
it.
You got the .com of that?
icloseevent.com.
Damn, son.
Let's go, baby.
icloseevent.com.
I told them I knew the three amigos here, and they were like, "Oh, well, here you go."
Damn.
Yeah.
Do you
And,
own Sub 2?
I do own sub2.com.
And you own,
Astro flipping, bro.
and I own Talk to People?
There we go.
Oh.
Come on.
That's so
Daniel, let's
And Shred of the
go.
Coffin is still every Sunday night at 5 p.m. Pacific. We out.
We love you.
Peace.
Or just say squat up.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
What are you doing?
I didn't say nothing.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Cool. I think we should use the one where Jamil doesn't say anything.